We have a disturbing update for you tonight on a story out of Rochester, New York. You'll remember this case because the shocking video of police brutality went viral. Only one of the 7 police officers who was involved in the killing of 41-year-old Daniel Prude last March is facing disciplinary charges in connection with his death. Now, Mr. Prude was killed in March of 2020, but the body camera footage wasn't released until 6 months later. And that's because Mr. Prude's brother, Joe, and their family attorney made a Freedom of Information request. Now, we're going to play a portion of that video for you, but again, it's horrifying on so many levels, so we do have to warn you first, it's very hard to watch. This video shows Officer Mike Vaughn pushing Mr. Prude's head into the pavement while another places a knee on his neck. The officers place a mesh spit hood over the head of Mr. Prude, who's naked on a cold winter night. It's snowing and the pavement looks icy. And when the video first went viral, social media was on fire with people wondering why the officers covered his head, why they were so brutal, and how could the other 6 officers just stand around mocking and laughing at Mr. Prude. Now, those hoods are used to stop people from biting and protecting officers from spit. And then after the video was released, New York's Attorney General presented the case to a grand jury, but they declined to file an indictment. The 7 officers were suspended without pay. The 6 remaining officers will now return to the Rochester Police Department's Professional Development Department, where they will work on department policies and procedures. Now, we reached out to the Rochester Police Department for comment. They have not returned our call. And joining me now tonight to talk about the case and this news that only one of the officers will face any disciplinary action is Joe Prude. He is Daniel Prude's brother. Elliot Shields, the Prude family attorney, and Janelle Fiona Griffith, NBC national reporter focusing on race and policing. Thanks to all of you for joining us tonight. Janelle, I'm going to start with you so you can summarize what happened since you've been covering this case from the beginning and you've fought so hard to keep it in the public eye. Briefly, take us through what happened the night of March 30th and what's happened in the case since then.
Yes, thank you. So Mr. Prude's brother had called 911 out of concern for his safety after he ran out of his home. And when police responded, they ended up restraining him and they held him against the cold pavement for at least 2 minutes until he stopped breathing. And they also put the mesh spit hood over his head. He died a week later. And since then, the 7 officers who responded, they were placed on leave. But we learned just days ago that only one of them is facing disciplinary charges from the police department, and a grand jury ultimately had decided not to indict any of the 7 officers.
Okay, now we have Joe on the phone with us. Joe, I hope you can hear us. We want to get your reaction to this, but the first thing I want to do is talk about your brother, because that viral video showing the horrific circumstances of his death is what people know of him, but we want to honor his memory first. You tell us who he was as a person, what he was like growing up. Tell us your fondest memories of him.
The fondest memories of him? He was real competitive with me when we was coming up. You know, I loved basketball, he loved football, and he also was a good, like, a person that made you laugh.
Joe, and I know that you actually called 911 on the night that this all happened. Can you tell us why you called 911 and what happened when the police responded to your call?
So they responded to my call, and I basically told them, you know what I mean, I found out that my sister said something wasn't right with the situation with him back home, and he started acting out a strange way that I ain't never dealt with a person of that caliber, to whereas, you know, you have a influence of a substance in you, and it make you, when it's coming out of your system, as they say, it makes you like respond to certain things real differently. And when he was responding to me, you know, it was like, it was kind of scary, you know, because he kept hollering out about God, the devil, you know, and I figured since I admitted him the first time, which didn't help me out at all, because they released him in 4 hours. So that last time I called again, I figured, you know what I mean, they take him in there now and they see that he really needs some help, the help that I couldn't give him. And
so Joe, you called the police to get help for your brother, who was clearly having, you know, he needed some help, clearly. You didn't know what, you tried to get help. And then this happens to your brother. And now today, we find out that one of the officers will get disciplinary action and the other ones are going to be put into jobs where they can have input into policy. How do you feel about this?
Real angry, real upset. You know, if you found departmental charges against one, why not the rest of all the 6? Why you leave out the other 6? They had part in that too, because they sat there and mocked him. You got 3 on him and folks standing around, just mocking and, you know, making derogatory little comments. You know that self-centered crap that these guys walking around with these badges on. And that policy, you know, it's like, I don't understand that, because if the grand jury didn't find no evidence to indict, how the departmental find the excessive force and the discourteous conduct against this officer and not the other 6? Because they all clearly was wrong.
Yeah. Absolutely. And Joe, I'm going to talk to your lawyer, your attorney, who's also with us, Elliot. And I want to talk to you about that body cam video because it wasn't released until 6 months after the investigation. It went viral, of course. And now this is what we're seeing. Elliot, I'm hoping that you can speak on that.
We requested the body camera footage 4 days after Mr. Prude's death, and the city buried the footage. They had no legal right to withhold the body camera footage. There was an independent investigation conducted by a law firm called Emery Chelly, Brinkerhoff, Beatty, Manziel, and Ward, hired by Rochester City Council. And the conclusion of that investigation was that they withheld the video without any legal basis. As of the appeal date, the process is you make a request. If they deny the request, then you file an agency appeal. They have 10 days from the date of the agency appeal to release the video. Their date to release the video legally was June 12th. As soon as they got the appeal, internal city documents showed that the RPD immediately contacted Corporation Counsel's office, the lawyers for the mayor and for the city, and they said, we cannot release this video. If we do, there will be mass protests in the city of Rochester, just like there were in Minneapolis. And we can't have that here. So what did they do? They passed an unlawful curfew, and they buried the video. They came up with several unlawful reasons to refuse to release the video to me and to Joe. After they finally realized that they had no other lawful reason to withhold the video and they'd exhausted all of their excuses, they finally released it to us. But what the internal investigation from Emery Chelly showed is that Corporation Counsel and the mayor did not approve the release of the video. When the video was released by lower level attorneys from the city, Corporation Counsel yelled at those lower level attorneys and told them that everybody was going to be fired. So,
I mean, it's so clear to see why they didn't want that video released, Elliot. I mean, we've been showing bits and pieces of it. We're not showing all of it. It is too graphic. It's very clear why they didn't want anybody to see that video. And Janelle, I'm going to have you jump in here because I want to ask you about the failure to bring criminal charges in this case. We're watching that video. We're hearing the story. Tell us about the way this case was presented to the grand jury, and why do you think they did not vote on an indictment?
So the New York Attorney General, Letitia James, her office had presented the case to an investigative grand jury, and She has been accused of undermining her own case by having an expert testify who is known to testify on behalf of police officers, a man named Dr. Gary Bill. He's from California and he often testifies on behalf of police officers accused of using excessive force. And people believe that she did not present a strong enough case to secure an indictment against these officers. And also, they believe the attorney for one of the officers who was at the scene, he has publicly said that Letitia James presented the case he would have should his client have been indicted. So there are some people who believe that she didn't present a strong case and that she bears some blame for not securing an indictment against all 7 of the officers who were at the scene the night that Mr. Prude died.
Wow, very interesting. All right, we have so much more to talk about this. I'm going to have all of you stand by. We're going to take a break. Once again, I'm talking to Joe Prude, Daniel Prude's brother, the family lawyer and a journalist who's covered the case from the very beginning about news that only one of the Rochester police officers who killed his brother will face disciplinary charges. I'll ask Joe Prude about his reaction. He's on the phone with us. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this break. This is Making the Case. I'm here with Joe Prude, the brother of Daniel Prude. He's on the phone with us. His brother died after being arrested by Rochester police. Also here with us is their family attorney, Elliot Shields, and Janelle Fiona Griffith, NBC.com's national reporter focusing on race and policing. Thanks so much. We want to continue this conversation. Before the break, we were talking about the news that only one of the 7 police officers who killed your brother will face disciplinary charges. Joe, I want to talk to you about that. How you felt when you learned that this was the result of the police department's internal investigation, that 6 of these officers are still on the force. And didn't you at one time even refer to this as a lynching?
Yeah. Breaks up.
Joe, can you hear me?
I didn't hear you.
Joe, I'm going to repeat that for you. I'm talking about your reaction to what we're learning today, about 6 of these officers still being on the force. I want to hear your reaction to what's happened here. And I want to know about your thoughts of what happened and the punishment here, which there doesn't seem to be much punishment.
No, it's not. That's like a slap in the face, a shove to the ground, and it's like, how can you sit here and charge one under the departmental policies that y'all bringing forth against Mark 1, but not the other 6? That's a downright upset right there. Bad enough we didn't get no indictment because the case was trumped up not to get us no indictment. That case was led in one way. They never asked me questions about such and such or this and that. They only asked about PCP use. That's a downright disgusting. It's like, I'm so disgusted with their facts and they little, oh man, I can't even really describe the anger that I'm feeling because of that.
Yeah, I can hear it in your voice. I know it's tough. And at one time, didn't you describe it as a lynching?
Yeah, I said what they call a cold-blooded lynching.
Cold-blooded.
Straight cold-blooded. They did that in cold blood and got away with it.
I mean, you called them for help for your brother. They didn't call, they didn't call in backup. They didn't call.
I didn't call for them to hurt my brother. I called them to come help me with my brother. And this is the things I get for calling them. That don't make no sense.
Yeah, we all feel for you. We all feel for you, Joe. And I'm going to ask your attorney, Elliot. You heard Joe say that it felt like a slap in the face. Not only that the other 6 officers are not facing disciplinary action, they're now going to actually work in the police department's professional development office. The same officers who mocked this man as he lay dying and clearly used every possible incorrect technique, they're now going to develop policy and procedure. Can you speak to that?
The law is clear that when one officer is using excessive force or violating somebody's constitutional rights, the rest of the officers at the scene have a duty to intervene and prevent that officer from violating somebody's rights. Here, that's exactly what happened. And instead of facing discipline, these officers are being rewarded. They're not facing any discipline. They're not facing any criminal charges. Instead, they're being rewarded by getting put onto the professional development section, a cushy job where they don't have to be on the street interacting with people. Instead, they get to develop policy, just like you said. Essentially, what this means is that the Rochester Police Department approves of what they did. Watching this video is essentially like a training video for the rest of the department. It says to every other police officer in Rochester, when somebody is violating somebody's rights, you can sit back and do nothing. And you don't have to worry that your failure to intervene will lead to disciplinary charges against you. What you can be confident in is that you'll be able to maintain your job. And in fact, you can get a promotion. And that's not right. The law is clear.
And
that when something like this happens.
Go ahead, finish your thought, Elliot. No, I just wanted to point out. I want to point something out.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I want to point something out about the Rochester Police Department. It does not seem to be a one-off. In fact, there is other video that we do want to show. It is somewhat graphic, of another incident that happened with the Rochester Police Department, this one involving a child. I want to have us take a look at that. Once again, I have to warn everybody that it is graphic, but it's another example of something that's clearly wrong with this police department.
Oh, you said that you were going to pepper spray me? No, please, no, stop! Oh, I got a bad
This sprayer.
No, I have
This sprayer at this point.
Stop! Stop!
Dear.
Stop!
I got her. I got her. Yeah.
Please, wipe my eye! Wipe my eye, please!
Okay, so that was police officers handcuffing and pepper spraying a 9-year-old girl while she's crying and screaming and sobbing for her father. Once again, that video, disturbing. We didn't show the whole thing, but you can clearly see there's a problem with the Rochester Police Department. Elliot, how is this allowed? How is this happening?
Later in that video, what you hear a police officer tell that 9-year-old girl is that she's acting like a child and that she needs to stop acting like a child. And she had enough wherewithal to say back to the police officer, I am a child. And that's what they didn't seem to grasp in that instance, that she's a child, she needed to be treated with compassion. No child needs to be slammed onto the icy, snowy ground in 32-degree weather and then thrown into the back of a police car and pepper sprayed in the face. Now, the other thing about that incident is that numerous officers on the scene there also have long disciplinary histories. Shortly after that incident, another woman holding a 3-year-old child was stopped, chased, thrown to the ground in front of her 3-year-old child as her child reached out and tried to hold her hand. What's the problem with the Rochester Police Department? The problem with the Rochester Police Department is that they continually approve of officers using excessive force against people. Officers are never held accountable. In 30 years, barely any officers, even when captured on video, have been held accountable internally or in court for their unlawful actions. When you see videos like this that go viral and then those officers aren't held accountable, it's not just the public that sees them, it's the entire Rochester Police Department. They see these videos, they talk about it internally, and they understand, I can act like that, I'm not going to get in trouble. And what the message is from the police department, it's basically like a training video. It's a training video that tells them, we want you to act like this. This is how we expect you to act. Because if you do act like that, you're not going to get in trouble. Instead, you're going to be promoted. And that has happened over and over again in the cases that I've litigated, in the cases that we're watching videos of right now. And it's not right.
Yeah, it is absolutely, yeah, it is not right. It's so troubling. But I want to thank all of you for joining us. Joe, I know you're on the phone. Thank you so much for being with us. Our hearts go out to you and your family, and we appreciate all of you for joining us. Attorney Elliot Shield and Janelle Fiona Griffith, NBC.com's national reporter focusing on race and policing. Appreciate your